We'll start with Lean St. James.
Hi, Ben. Wanted to ask you about your European defensemen, especially Edmondson and Vero. Can you tell in a tournament like this, and I know it's been fairly short, but just how their level of skill, their talent, where they're at, coming over from having competed in the SHL?
Yeah, well, all those guys, and really not to single anyone out, but I think everyone in general in this tournament, it is transferable, translatable, but you can tell that those guys have played at a high level. Now it's fun to see them because how they applied what we were trying to teach them and learn and get better, and just some things that we taught, and they were very receptive to that, and we're able to apply that moving forward. So for me as a coach, that's important to show that they were very receptive and applied that.
What do you look for in defensemen in a tournament like this?
Well, so I mean, it can be chaotic at times because you don't have a lot of preparation. You're playing 3 games in 4 nights. This isn't it's not your team per se, but you're looking for guys that are consistent. Coaches love people that are consistent, dependable, accountable, and do learn from their mistakes. You're inevitably going to make mistakes, but when you see the growth and learning and not repetitive mistakes and learning from it moving forward, that's what you like. And I thought really our team in general, all the prospects that were here showed that.
What do you like specifically about Vero? Like, what can he develop into? What are his assets?
I guess the first thing you notice right away is he's a great skater, and I like his competitive nature. He's got a good motor to him. He's got a high battle level, and he's not afraid to get his nose dirty and go in corners. So that's a pretty good set of attributes to have to work with to see how he's going to continue to develop.
Thanks.
Ted Colfin.
Hey, Ben, I guess this question could have been posed beforehand, before the tournament, but now it still fits, I guess. What did you guys want them to get out of this weekend? I mean, what's this tournament basically for all these guys?
Well, I think it's whether you're an invite, whether you're driving, it means different things for different people, I guess. Obviously, if you're a draft pick, you're more so being evaluated by Detroit. If you're an invite, there are tons of scouts here, not just Detroit. But it's an opportunity for them to showcase who they are, maybe get on the radar a little bit. Are they able to be signed? Are they young enough, old enough? That stuff I don't know, but I think it's a great opportunity for all these kids that come in with Detroit to learn not only our staff in Grand Rapids, because some of these kids will be in Grand Rapids, and I think it's important to kind of learn what the pro kind of daily routine is in terms of game day routine, how you do meetings, how you practice, in between periods, post game. And then probably the last thing is just getting ready for training camp. And I think that, you go through 3 games in 4 nights, but it gets you in game shape and gets you ready for training camp. So these kids have, maybe a little bit further leg up in being ready for camp on day 1.
Be fair to say Cross-Annis kind of made a positive impression upon you guys?
Yeah, I think Cross had a good tournament, and he's again another kid that has a solid skill set that we're looking forward to if he ends up in Grand Rapids to work with. So yeah, he had a good 3 days. He should be happy with his showing here.
Sounds good. Hey, thanks for this, Ben.
Yeah, you're welcome.
George Malik.
Hi, Coach. You said it's not necessarily your team, but you had a couple of AHL contracted guys, and obviously with some of the top prospects, you have some players who very well might play some time in Grand Rapids. Can you talk about not only the Edmondsons of the world, but also Trenton Bliss and Drew Warad?
Yeah, well, guys like Warad and Bliss that have signed American League deals, I thought they played pretty solid this the last 3 games. Obviously Bliss didn't play in the first game, but those guys in the situation there, they should be go-to guys at this tournament because they are typically a little bit older. They played 4 years in college, so they are a little bit older. They're a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, probably a little bit more mature. And for them, it's getting a little bit more of a leadership role and making sure that they're helping these young kids, even though they haven't kind of been through this before per se, but they have been in different situations because they are older. So, those guys, good quality people, they both have tremendous work ethics, and we're looking forward to seeing what they do and where they fit in the puzzle once everything settles from training camp, where the pieces come together with those guys.
We talked to Sebastian after the game and, you know, you guys have three goaltenders signed, but Sebastian really wants to turn pro if at all possible. Can you talk about his performance at the tournament and maybe the possibility of him shaking things up a bit?
Well, you know, that's a decision that management will make, but I think that he played extremely well here. I think that he, in the games that he played, the time that he played, I think he did a really good job. So it's always good to have tough decisions to make, whether that's a coach or a management team. And, you know, a lot of things can happen between now and the start of the regular season. So, you know, as a player, all you can do is show up every day, compete, be ready to go. And when your opportunity is there, make the most of it. So you can see that he's ready, he's hungry, and let's see what happens in camp.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Last question, Max Boltman.
Ben, was there any part of Kosa's game that you were especially like glad to see? Any particular place he'd made progress or something you were happy with?
Well, for me, and I always defer to the goalie gurus that we have, but no, you know, one of the things that I thought he played the puck pretty well today. You know, and you know, not that was a perceived deficiency or anything, but it was noticeable that he was confident coming out and playing the puck. And I don't know if I don't want to speak out of turn, but I just didn't know what his puck handling skills were. And I thought he handled himself well coming out of the crease and making plays.
And then among those D that, you know, you'll get some combination of the guys that are coming over from Europe, haven't played pro. Like what did you feel like, you know, their readiness for the North American game would be? How did you feel like they transitioned into that?
Well, it's a small sample size, but I mean, a lot of those guys that you just alluded to, they've played in pro leagues before. So, you know, in prior years here, you know, we've had guys, you know, Zadina, Veleno, Svech, Rassam, as young guys that played juniors prior to turning pro. It's a little bit different when you're playing in a men's league. You know, Sider played in a men's league, and that was, you could tell that he's played against older, heavier, stronger people. And you could kind of tell that with some of these other guys that have played in the Swedish league or the Finnish league. And not to knock the other guys in junior, but they have played against older, bigger, stronger people. So that is going to hopefully help them be a little bit further ahead. And, you know, like I said, there's still going to be an acclimation period, but hopefully that helps shorten that window a little bit.
And last thing, I know he played the whole third period, but it did look like Edvinsson was a little hobbled coming in at the second. Did he take a shot or did he tweak something or?
No, as far as I know, I think he's fine. You know, he's good to go. So he's excited for camp and get a day of rest here tomorrow and then a quick skate on Wednesday. And I think a lot of these young kids are excited to show what they got for camp.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
All right. Sure, guys.
All right. Those are all the questions we had. Thanks everyone for joining us today.
Thanks, Ben.